Welcome to Aerials for Any Style of Dance Volume 1. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Gabe.
And we'll be your instructors. A few things before we start off. Always warm up before you practice. And always practice in a large open space. We will not be held accountable for any injuries that may occur. We're going to start off by showing you a clip filled with some of the lifts that you'll be learning.
This clip's just an example of how we use these lifts in our dance style, and we hope that it gives you some ideas how to use it and incorporate it into yours. Enjoy!
Stand still backflip. We'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so it starts off with the man's right arm. It wraps around behind the girl, behind her lower back there, and the left arm comes in behind her left knee. Now the girl places her hands on his shoulders and braces herself to hold herself up. Now for the girl, she can either jump into it with both feet on the ground, or step back with her right and give a bit of a kick into it. Okay, now when you're coming off, you'll feel when it's right to let go, because as you come around, you'll be back to where you started, and you'll just slide your arms off and bend down to end the lift.
Now it's important for the guy to have a wide stance with his closest foot back, and as he grabs her, he lowers back into that leg. He comes up as he takes her up, and as he lowers her down, he softens backwards and to the side to give the girl a nice soft landing.
Okay, so we'll show you what it looks like from the start to the end. Pull through the legs. We'll show you what it looks like.
This move begins with the gentleman's left arm taking hold of the lady's right. The lady crouches down so that the gentleman can swing his right leg over the top and step right left into a nice, soft, wide position. He then takes his right arm, crosses with the other one to grab the lady's arm.
Okay, so once the lady has crouched, she needs to lean back and create resistance between these arms because that's what's going to create the slide through.
The next part of this lift is from here, and the force comes from the gentleman driving his hips forward and pulling up with his arms to pull the lady through his legs.
Okay, so we'll show you where we're up to. Okay, so as you can see, once the lady gets through to here, she needs to lock her body straight and use the resistance here to unwind and hop straight up. Okay? So we'll show you what it looks like again from start to finish. Pop around the back. We'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so it starts off, the girl places her left arm on his right shoulder and her right arm or hand in his left hand.
The man places his right arm on lower back and make sure that you maintain a strong pressure between these two hands. This is where you're going to get your pop.
Okay, now as I jump in, he bends to cradle me. Okay, so the girl steps in and jumps to get into this position and to create a nice sitting position. Now, the action is actually called pop around the back for a reason, because the man pops her and pushes her around his back. Now, if you can see, on this angle, he aims at keeping me tight, pushing me in around here, so that I roll off his back at the end. Okay? So we'll show you what it looks like again. The leg swing. We'll show you what it looks like. So it starts off with the man's right arm and the lady's left arm. The lady wraps in tight, puts her right arm on top of his right hand. He locks his hands together and she locks her arms on top of his hands, holding up her own weight. From here, she straightens her legs and kicks them around to the left, keeping them straight.
As the man clasps his hands, he wants to keep her chest nice and firm to his, and as the lady's legs swing to the left, he steps with his left over them. As they come around from the back, he steps over with the right, and then this just becomes your continuous motion. For today, we'll show you it 3 times. We'll show you that much and then show you how to get out of it. So when you're ready to finish, the gentleman takes his left hand, takes hold of the lady's right, and rolls her out.
So we'll show you what it looks like again from the start to the finish.
The crocodile roll. We'll show you what it looks like.
Okay, so this one starts off with the man's left arm and the lady's right arm. The lady rolls in 1.5 times, wrapping in really tight, and puts her left arm on his right shoulder.
From here, the man takes his right arm and creates a cradle around the lady's back. Now you want to keep this arm nice and curved and strong, because this is what's going to stop the lady from falling to the ground, and it's what's going to help you get her up at the end. Now to execute the move, the man lifts the girl and she keeps her legs straight and slides through between his legs, and then the man uses a lawnmower effect with his left arm to unravel the girl, keeping this arm soft but braced behind her back the whole time. He then uses his right arm and left hand to pull her up to standing. We'll show you what it looks like. The rollerblind. We'll show you what it looks like.
Okay, so it starts off with the man's right arm and the lady's left arm. The lady steps in with her right foot, wraps in tight, and lifts her left leg.
Here the gentleman is supporting the lady with his right arm around her side, and he catches her raised leg with his hand and the bottom of his forearm. We'll show you to there.
Once in this position, the lady is holding a lot of her weight with her left arm and keeping her feet tucked together.
From here the gentleman completes a full turn, and when ready to move on, he takes his hand and wraps it around the bottom leg. From here, the lady simply unrolls, making sure that the man maintains a strong grip with both hands.
Now it's nice to unravel and let your arm go out, it just finishes the lift off. So we'll show you what it looks like from start to finish.
the Ferris wheel. We'll show you what it looks like.
Okay, so it starts off with the male's left arm and the girl's right arm. She walks in, left, right, and puts her right arm underneath and on top of his left shoulder.
The man takes his left arm over the top of her right and underneath her left armpit. Now this arm is the base of the lift, and it's what is the pivot point and is creating the strength of the lift. And you want to keep it nice and strong in front of you. After that, the man takes his right arm behind the girl's right knee, and this arm behind the leg is what's going to create the momentum and the force to get up and around.
Okay, now as you're kicking your left leg, which is the next move, you've got to try and create just an equal gap between your legs. Try and keep them nice and straight to create a very nice visual effect. Now for the landing, you've both got to try and bend to create a very neat ending. So we'll show you what it looks like from start to finish.
Ground flip. We'll show you what it looks like.
Okay, so we're going to break this into two parts. The first part is double hand hold. The girl steps back, jumps into the man's right hip and locks her hands behind his neck.
At this same time, the gentleman takes both of his hands to the girl's sides and brings her into his right, and he lowers her to his right. He pops her up to bring her into his left, pops her up again to bring her between his legs, lower her softly to the ground, then step right left over her so that you're standing directly over her head.
We'll show you up to here.
So, part two. The gentleman takes both of his hands, double hand hold, and leans forward, flares his elbows so that there's room underneath both armpits.
The girl lifts her legs and wraps them tightly around his lower back.
As the girl wraps around his lower back, the gentleman takes the back of both hands to the lady's hips, and this is where the pressure comes for the gentleman to push up and around to bring the lady up, and then lower her softly for a nice landing. We'll show you what that part looks like.
As you can see, as the lady lands, she sticks her right leg out to create a nice finish. We'll show you what it looks like again from start to finish. the back full. We'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so we're going to break it into two parts. So it starts off double hand grip. The girl steps back, jumps in with her legs apart.
From here, the gentleman takes both of his hands to the inside of the lady's thighs and lifts her to his shoulders. From here, he takes both hands to the lady's stomach and pushes her around so that her back is against his chest. You want to make sure you've got a nice firm press into the chest because this is what's going to stop the lady from falling. From here, the lady's legs will continue over to the ground, and that's the end of part one. We'll show you that much.
Once you're up in the air and the man's got his hands around, the girl locks her hands on his hands tight. And that's the end of part one. Part two. Once the girl has landed, she bends down and reaches her hands under.
The gentleman takes both of his hands, gets a firm grip on both of the lady's hands, and uses his arms and forearms to pull her up and through. At the height of it, as the gentleman pulls up, he can use his forearms to create a slight pop to give it a more elevated feel.
Now, it also is one of those lifts where you want to create, at the end, a nice, clean finish. So we'll show you what it looks like, again, from the start to the finish. We hope you've enjoyed our instructional DVD. If you're finding it too hard, start back at the beginning, from the easiest to the hardest until you've mastered it.
And if you're finding it too easy, don't worry, Volume 2 is coming soon. See you next time.
Bye.